25. Lose weight. Weight loss is an absolute evergreen. It's the most common resolution, counting for about 25% of all New Year resolutions. Unfortunately, our determination usually lasts just about a few weeks, and people soon get back to their unhealthy, obese routines. 24. Exercise. Often, working out is involved in weight loss, but there are people who don't actually need to lose weight, lucky bastards, but just need some physical exercise to get in shape. The outcome, however, is pretty much the same. Most give up their new gym zeal as soon as February. 23. Quit smoking. Everybody knows that there is absolutely nothing beneficial about smoking. It's harmful for your health, it makes your teeth turn yellow, your clothes smell bad, it's extremely annoying for all non-smokers, and last but not least, it's freaking expensive. Unfortunately, only about 10% of those who make the resolution to quit will keep it for at least 6 months. 22. Quit drinking. I'm never going to drink again. This is what many people suffering from a bad hangover say after every wild party. Nevertheless, there is actually a considerable amount of people who make a New Year resolution to quit or at least reduce drinking. However, similarly to smoking, alcohol addiction often evolves into a physical dependence, which is extremely difficult to get rid of. 21. Get a new job. If you ask your friends if they're happy with their jobs, they will most likely tell you, not really. It's strange, but the more job positions there are, the harder it seems to find people who really enjoy their jobs. As such, I guess it's not surprising that 10% of Americans make resolutions to find a new one. Whether they succeed, well, that's a different matter. 20. Get out of debt. Paying off debt is a popular resolution that many have difficulty accomplishing. Keeping this resolution often requires a major reduction of people's comfort and conventional habits, which is something many people don't want to give up. 19. Save money. Improving finances is a resolution that about 14% of people make every year. These days, as much as a third of all Americans have no savings, so let's hope the resolutions for 2015 will improve that number. 18. Eat healthier. Healthier eating is another praiseworthy vow we often make and sadly often fail at. Increasing the daily amount of fruit and veggies is a good start. 17. Get organized. Time management and better organization is another important thing many people wish to improve, and New Year is a great opportunity to start working on it. An average office employee spends about 1.5 hours a day looking for things, which means that better organization can help save this time for other activities. 16. Spend more time with family. If you manage to keep the previous resolution, it might be easier for you to follow this one as well. The beginning of the year is also an ideal time to spend more time with kids or reconnect with family that you haven't seen in a while. 15. Manage stress better. What sounds like a natural and reasonable resolution is very often difficult, vague, and hardly a measurable thing, with only about 5% of people actually doing it. There are some psychological strategies on how to handle stress, but they are extremely hard to acquire. In fact, stressing less is likely to be the very first resolution you'll break this new year. 14. Enjoy life to the fullest. This resolution also sounds very pleasant and agreeable, but the failure rate is very high. Many people work way too hard, and even if they are on vacation, most find some way to still be attached to work. The sad truth is that the tight family budgets often simply don't allow people to keep this resolution, forcing them to work more and more. 13. Stop procrastinating. Procrastination has become a serious problem, often resulting in stress, anxiety, a sense of guilt and crisis, and possibly even health problems. The practice is particularly widespread among students. Estimates suggest that up to 95% of college students are engaged in procrastination. 12. Travel. The new year can bring a desire to visit exotic destinations and foreign countries. Unfortunately, what usually happens is that we need the money for way less exciting things, and our travel bucket list stays unchecked. 11. Improve a relationship. During Christmas, people tend to be more helpful, kind, and warm-hearted. Consequently, they sometimes resolve to improve a relationship with a family member. But soon after the holiday atmosphere and festive spirit is over, reconciling is the last thing people care for. 10. Learn a new language. Learning a new language is a good idea, and this resolution ranks among those that quite a high percentage of people actually keep, especially if they choose a language that is not difficult to learn. 9. Have better sleep. Sleeping is a crucial factor affecting our physical as well as our mental well-being, and it is well known that too many people have some kind of sleeping problem or disorder. Generally, doctors say we should sleep anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. Nevertheless, many find themselves sleeping far less. 8. Spend less time on Facebook. Spending too much time on Facebook and other social networks is a considerable problem for a surprising number of people. But even if they admit that they have this issue, it can be very difficult to reduce the time spent on the site because for many, logging in and checking their friends' activities is one of the very first things they do every morning. 7. Spend less time watching TV. This resolution might be easier to keep now than it used to be, but this statistic is misleading. The only reason why people are willing to cut their TV time is because they can watch the same things online, or they just replace the time spent in front of the TV with hours wasted on websites. See number 8. 6. Get rid of old clothes. The main problem with this resolution is that some people find themselves emotionally attached to clothes, especially their favorite old pieces. 5. More biking. Every year, millions of people all over the world resolve to use their bikes much more than they did the year before. Some even plan to commute to work on bikes instead of using their car. The resolution is not only good for our health and budget, but it's also friendly to Mother Nature. Unfortunately, the enthusiasm is very often replaced with comfort and laziness, and the bikes soon end up on the very same spot in the garage where it spent most of the previous year. 4. Run a half or full marathon. Marathons have become very popular in recent years. Some of us might even have friends who have successfully completed one, which might encourage some of us to try and do the same. Unfortunately, when people are confronted with the grueling training needed to accomplish this task, most decide to quit. 3. Try an extreme sport. What prevents most of us from keeping this resolution is not our laziness nor lack of time. It's lack of courage. Just a very small percentage of people are brave enough to stand on a bungee jumping platform, and an even smaller percentage of them can actually jump. 2. Do something for charity. It has been statistically proven that during Christmas, donations are several times higher than in other part of the year. But once the holiday is over and we return to our everyday reality, our generosity considerably decreases. And 1. Have a baby. Well, to have a baby is not a New Year resolution that everybody makes, but it can be a topical subject in a surprisingly high number of families, especially in developed countries. Couples tend to postpone parenthood to a later age for various reasons such as career, fear of parental duties, loss of freedom, etc. Liking our lists? Be sure to subscribe by pressing the button at the top corner of your screen. And if you're still itching for more awesome lists, click on these nifty thumbnails created by yours truly, and be sure to show us some love by liking, sharing, and commenting.